There are 35 million Americans on food stamps, and today marks the end of a week in which politicians have put themselves in those people's shoes, living off only food stamps for the last 7 days. We sat down with one of those politicians, a councilman from New York City.
Hi, my name is Eric Joya, and this week I'm experiencing what it's like to live on food stamps. My budget is what the average food stamp recipient receives in a week. It's about $28, which is about $1.30 per meal, which is really virtually impossible to live a healthy lifestyle on. What I learned so quickly is that when you walk into a store and you only got $28 to spend for an entire week, and you're starting to look for sales, you got to come here and grab the circular, and you got to study this thing pretty hard to figure out what's on sale. So in many ways, the choice is made for you before you even walk through the door. Here I am, reasonably smart, well-educated. I understand what's healthy, what's not healthy. Within about a half hour of being in that store, I was no longer looking at calorie content. I wasn't looking at fat. I was looking at the price tag to figure out, what can you buy in bulk that'll fill you up for a week. So, there's a misconception about poor people in America. Like, I hear it all the time. What we need to do, people say, is we need to educate poor folks about how to eat properly. If only they knew, the argument goes, what was healthy and not healthy, they'd stay away from trans fats and oils and all the things that aren't healthy for you. The reality is that it's almost impossible on this budget to eat healthy. Almost impossible. This is some pasta. I've run out of tomato sauce, so I'm having a little butter on it. And I know it doesn't look great, but it actually tastes like macaroni and cheese. If I did this diet long term, I'd probably gain 30 or 40 pounds. The long-term health consequences would be clear. Heart disease, diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. It's all too often the face of poverty, the face of hunger is obesity, because the food that you can afford is really lousy food. There are a lot of problems in government where we don't know the solution. This isn't one of them. This shouldn't be a Democratic issue, it shouldn't be a Republican issue, it's a moral issue.
Councilman Joya is heading to Washington today to try and help solve that problem. He and dozens of lawmakers are lobbying Congress to add $4 billion to the $33 billion food stamp budget.